Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Hey, good morning, guys. Where's a good morning? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what part of the day it is for you, but for me, it's around noontime. This is about the time I actually wake up and either get up to go pee or something like that after a night shift. So, excuse me. So after I released my video, I've been getting tons of questions on the overseeding process. So I actually came up with a list of the top 10 questions that I got for the overseeding. The first question is, what rate do you sow the seeds? For me, a good rate for the residential lawn would be about 10 pounds to 12 pounds. I know athletic fields will go either 15, and golf courses that also require thicker standard turf, they'll go up to maybe 20 pounds or more per 1,000 square feet. So I did about 10 pounds, and for the Kentucky Bluegrass, I did 5 pounds throughout that whole 2,000 square feet. The next question is, what should I be looking for when I get a bag of seed? What you want to find in a bag of seed, there's going to be a small little label there. It's either white or blue. If it's blue, that means it's certified. It went through the rigorous testings of its contents. Typically, you will want to find a bag that's really high in germination percentage. Anything above 85, 90% is perfect. Make sure there's also no weed seeds in there, and you'll also want to check the inert matter. Number 3 question is, when can I mow the grass? Typically after 14 days, that's like 2 weeks, you'll start to notice that the perennial ryegrass will actually start growing tall, and so usually, like I said, 2 weeks is very good. As you can hear in the background, it's some jets, so that's why it's really hard to film where I live. It's because I live about 7 miles from Luke Air Force Base, and they do their practice kind of scattered throughout the day. I know they list certain times on when they will do their flyovers or landing patterns or circling around. But yeah, in some of my videos, you'll actually hear the jets. Sometimes I have to edit those out, and so you can hear me, or next question is, what was the different spreaders that I use, and why do I use so much? Sorry about that. So in the video, I use first the Scott's drop spreader. What that allows me to do is actually get to even seed distribution all the way up to the edges without getting seeds into the rock beds or in the mulch beds. It works perfectly. The small spreader that I had, since I'm used to sowing I'm used to sowing the perennial ryegrass, so that has a bigger size seed to it, so it's easier for me to gauge. And I found that when I see it up to my chest, the opening and how much it's let out, I can adjust my speed. And typically my benchmark or factor that I like to put in is to be about halfway through that amount before I run it crisscross. I don't think I explained that well, but anyways, I'm still going to shoot this video here. Number 4, what was the difference? Oh, number 5 is it absolutely necessary to use mulch or topper? For me, I've done actually both ways. The first couple years I used the topper. I know Home Depot has a topper that they sell. There's also peat moss that you can use. Typically, if you're seeding within the time frame, like September and October here in Arizona, that's almost prime time. You don't necessarily have to use a topper or a mulch. I found that it does not detract birds from getting to the seed, and that's the reason why you also want to apply at least 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet on your perennial ryegrass. It kind of counts for the seed loss. Next question is what sprinklers do I use? I use the Hunter MP rotators. I found that they work a lot better than your conventional pop-up sprinklers. Just the mere fact that it's got a better coverage. It has a slower precipitation rate. I believe it's about a ½ an inch per hour. So compared to the pop-up sprinklers, you typically want to double that amount for your MP rotators. Next question is, how do I water? Well, we're going to keep this simple. Just remember 3, 3, 2, 1, take off. So the first week, 2 weeks, it's very important to keep your seed wet. You could use the most expensive fertilizer, the best grass seed, but if you're not watering good, or if you're not watering consistent to keep that seed wet, your overseeding tends to decline as far as seed yield goes. So the first 2 weeks, what I'll typically do is water around 5 to 7 minutes. That's the 3, and you're going to do that for the next 2 weeks. Those are the most 2 critical weeks to water. The following week, or week 3, I will decrease the frequency down to 2 and start longer run times, anywhere from 12 minutes to 15. That way, when your perennial ryegrass seed starts to germinate, those roots are going to have to, that you have to start training those roots to actually start going down. That way, it's it's getting ready for the winter season, and it's week 4. Week 4 will be down to like once a week, once daily, and then you'll be watering that from anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and then week 5, you're going to start skipping days, like every 2 days or every 3 days, and depending on what you see in your grass. Because like everybody's soil composition is different. You just wanted to make sure that, like I said, it's not to start seeing those puddling. If you see puddling, just come back down on your watering. Let's see. The next question is, what is that green thing that you call a sunjoe? Let me tell you, that is the best thing that's ever came up as far as transitioning. I'm going to use that thing. Would you believe it? I used to use the manual, but the manual dethatching rake for the last couple of years, and I'm telling you, if you want to work out your back or break your back, that's a good. But anyways, the sunjoe has 2 different attachments, or at least my sunjoe came with 2 different attachments. So it has the blades. I guess they call it scarifying blades. And the second one is the dethatching, where it has the spring tines, and what that does, it helps with the dethatching. I don't do the dethatching as much. I noticed that the Bermuda grass responds well. I guess it's the closest you can get to a verticutting unit without actually having to buy or rent one. And next question is, what is the rake I think we talked about that already. That's a dethatching rake. You can use that through you know, anytime you need to thatch. But like I said, if you have a small yard, that works perfect. But anything more than like 1,000 or 2,000 square feet, you'll probably want to try to invest in a Sunjoe. Next question is, are you doing Bermuda? Here in the desert, I'm not 100% sure that the Bermuda will work. I know Real Low Dad on his channel, he's been doing a Bermuda, and I believe he's out in Tennessee, so he's on the other side of the country. And you know, with our summers, I don't know how much the Kentucky Bluegrass will sustain after a brutal summer like that, but you know, we're going to give it a try. It's not a very high seed percentage that I put down compared to the perennial ryegrass, so it's kind of like a 90% perennial ryegrass and a 10% Kentucky Bluegrass. And I know this is pretty much similar to the percentages that the athletic fields use, like you know, for football. I know ASU, Arizona Cardinals Stadium, does similar things. Let's see. The next question is, oh, that's a good one. Which lawn do I prefer, or which lawn do you prefer, Bermuda or the perennial ryegrass? Let's see. That's a tough question. The Bermuda, it comes back every year. I love it. It's self-generating. Bermuda is very forgiving. You know, when you have bare spots, you can push the crap out of it. You know, as long as you got ammonium sulfate, I mean, that's your ticket. As far as the perennial ryegrass, I think the reason why I like the perennial ryegrass well throughout the cool season is because it's actually the most enjoyable time here at Arizona to mow the lawn. I don't have to worry about, you know, having to wake up real early in the morning to beat the heat, or in the afternoon I'm cutting. There's no, you know, the sun's coming down, but it's still, you know, 110, 115 plus degree temperature. So I like them both for what you know, each you know, grass type brings to me. I want to thank you guys for watching my videos. I know I felt like I abandoned the channel, you know, when the COVID thing had struck, but you know, that's life. But I want to, you know, I want this channel to, you know, somewhat thrive and, you know, be different like the other channels. You know, being in Arizona, we have one of the toughest climates to actually have a nice lawn year in, year out, from, you know, from January all the way to December. There's no, you know, one particular grass species that actually does good, you know, for the whole year. Our summers can get anywhere from 110 plus for several months with no rain. And this year, I'm going to tell you, it was brutal for me. It was brutal for the grass as well. As you can see in some of my videos, the cypress trees, the Italian cypress trees, the long, slender ones, took a beating. They're actually kind of like, the arms are just kind of just slaggy, but with the cooler temperatures, I've noticed that the branches are actually starting to go up, and I've been trying to hit some water on them as well. I want to thank you guys for liking and subscribing. You know, that helps the channel out. So if you can, you know, do that small thing, it helps me. It motivates me. Do I make money out of this? No. It's simply the fact that I love what I'm doing. The lawn is sort of a refuge for me, you know, being a healthcare worker. You know, I see things that normally not a lot of people see. And I feel like that's sort of like my comfort zone. It allows me to actually, you know, take my mind off the stressors in life. It allows me to get away from the honey-do list. Guys, you know what I mean. You don't have to, you know. All right. Well, having said that, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.